What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's the Branded Dude, and today, guys, I have a deck profile to show you. As you've already seen by the title, I participated in a locals today, the first one since the beginning of this year, and I was very surprised that I actually managed to go undefeated. There was Ryzeal players, there was the one Malice player and a variety of other decks, but we managed to go up against Ryzeal. So I did a lot of, I've been doing a lot of DB, a lot of online testing and stuff. So today it was really nice to actually go physically out there and try out the deck in real life at a locals. And to be honest, I was very surprised. Obviously I had a lot of like last minute changes and honestly just contemplating whether I was happy with the changes or not, and decided, you know what, screw it, I got my bold, let's go for it, sorry. And yeah, we managed to actually come first place. We played a total of 4 rounds. We won 3 and drew 1. So yeah, in the last round I did draw against the one Ryzeal Fiendsmith player, and then in the last round I had to verse him again because him and I were the only two really like the last. Technically, it was a fight for first position between him and I, even though I already versed him. So we drew the first game. I basically drew the first game against him, and then when it came to the fourth round, I managed to score victory and score first place at the local. So yeah, guys, I want to show you this profile. I didn't want to do another like DB video, nothing online, so rather just show you like a real life locals deck profile. And obviously, this is the first sort of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously not very serious competitive, but there was a lot of competitive decks of Ryzeal Fiendsmith. Well, actually, no, let me not say a lot. There was a good number of Ryzeal Fiendsmith there. So, it wasn't casual play. It was, I would say it was a bit of competitive play. So, yeah, cool. Here's the deck profile I want to show to you. Obviously, I will be discussing like how the gameplays went and obviously the reasons why I'm playing some cards. So, yeah, let's hop straight into it. So, guys, we are playing 60 card branded. Obviously, if you guys have been part of this channel for a long time, 60 card branded is how I play branded. So we are playing branded. We're not playing hand traps. No hand traps. You guys have seen I've been testing some hand traps recently in branded on Dueling Book, but listen, no hand traps. I decided, I don't want to risk it. I had my fun playing hand traps, but I just never really enjoyed it because when it came to hand traps, I honestly felt like if I was playing that certain card or that certain engine, I would have more gas in the branded build. So I decided, we're cutting out hand traps and we're playing 60 card. We're playing grass. We're actually playing grass as well with the Tearlaments monster. So I went back to my roots, guys. So yeah, enough yapping. Let's get straight into it. So guys, we are playing the 3 Albas, obviously the heart and soul of the deck. That's how it is. We are playing we're playing 1 Quem and we're playing 2 Cartesia. So 1 Quem. So Quem is actually such an annoying issue for me here to deal with actually, because obviously most branded builds they do play 1 Quem. Me, every time I play 2 Quems in a 60 card build, I end up drawing this card so many times and I hate it, honestly. I don't even see a Luba for some odd reason. So 1 Quem, another reason why I decided to cut Quem to 1 is one of the reasons is that you do always, there's a big chance you will always have access to your Despia monsters. You have branded opening, you have a Lure of Darkness, you can banish Tragedy to get your Despias. Titan can summon Quem, Grand Gugno can summon Quem. So Quem, your Despia monsters, and specifically I'm referring to Quem, is easily accessible. You will always have access to this card. So I don't want to play multiple copies and see this. This card is something you never want to see in your hand. So I decided I'm cutting Quem to 1. And most of the time, even though you do use the graveyard effects, it's like I am playing Regained, I am playing Branded Sword. So it's like you most probably will have a way to get this back on the field or into your hand in some position. So I decided, 1 Quem is it. I don't want to see 2. I don't want to draw too many of this. So I decided to play 1 Quem. Today, 1 Quem was enough. I didn't feel the need that I needed the second one. Partly it's because if you're playing 2 Quems, it is for the grind game. 2 Quems is good for the grind game, but the games that I played today, it wasn't heavily, we didn't really play a heavy grind game because most of the time it's just how Yu-Gi-Oh, how me personally, this is my opinion, how it's been in the games I played is you obviously try to see who can get the most advantage, the more established board, and obviously try to prevent your opponent from even setting up anything or break down their setup, make their ability to have follow-up just very low. And then once you have that, you technically are winning the game at that point. So that's how it is against Ryzeal and Malice. It's just, sure, if you're going up against them, they will have their board set up, because we're not playing hand traps, guys. So either they set up their board, we break it and try to prevent them from getting back, or if we're going first, we set up a strong board. Obviously they'll have hand traps, and you know, they have a lot of engines they can play. So the whole point is, if you're able to establish, you know, full advantage and a really good setup, you really don't need to enter the ground game, because at some point you're going to be overcome and they will just break you down completely. So one crim it is. I don't know why it took so long to explain that. Other Albaz relay cards, we are playing 2 Mercurius. Like I said, guys, if you did see my recent branded builds, I was testing 2 tragedies, but I decided, like, again, we will always have access to our Despia monsters, so let me play 2 Mercurius instead, because we are playing the low package. 2 Mercurius, get a search for, you know, Kit, Cartesia, Albion, Quem, and obviously it's a monster negate, so cool, why not? We are playing the one kit, yeah, this card came up. Definitely to recycle your brand of fusion or brand of retribution. I used kit to suffer retribution, because retribution itself can recycle your brand of spells and trap in graveyard. So kit, yeah, one kit is fine, as it always been. I am playing only 1 Albion the Shrouded. I'm not playing 3, guys. 1 Albion is fine. Sure, if you have this card in your hand, you can mull a Albaz or a branded spell or trap, and you know, you'll be able to, like, you know, build up in consistency, but 1 is fine. Sure, I play a lot of dragons here. I am playing a big bestial package in this build, so I decided, you know, this is not a card that I want to see more in my hand. I'd rather see my bestials, because the bestials are good interruptions, or technically it's a good hand trap. Okay, so I decided 1 Albion. That's cool. That's fine. Now that is the Albaz cards. I mean, Albaz related monsters. Onto the Despias though. We are playing 3 Alubas. Yeah, 3 Alubas. That is well, we all know 3 Alubas is Alubas, best searcher, and 3 because you are playing 60, so you want to increase your chances of seeing this. We're playing the 1 Tragedy. 1 Tragedy was fine. Banished it off Allure. I didn't use its graveyard effect, because Kit and Retribution were doing the recycling for me. So 1 Tragedy, yeah, it's fine with that. I don't think we need to play 2. I think that would be too many Despia monsters in your deck. Playing the 1 Ad Libitum. I'm a fan of this card. Love this card to pieces. Yeah, today I didn't really use its effect when it was used as a fusion material. Never really got to that point because of how the games went. But, you know, I still love this card. Will still play it. Cool. That is essentially the Despia engine. Now, like I said, we are playing quite a big bestial package. So I am playing 1 Duosworm. I am playing 3 bestial Sarnias. This, honestly, Sarnia is the best bestial, because it mows your branded spells and traps, fills up your graveyard, and obviously with the bestials, obviously the 1 Magnemite, because we do need that recycle. So 1 Mag, and we're playing 3 bestial Lubellion. So yeah, I am playing quite a big bestial package. Now, the reason why I decided to play a big bestial package is because there is you know, Ryzeal, Fiendsmith, there is the Malice decks, obviously, and so the bestials is technically my hand traps in this deck. You can break down the Fiendsmith, you know, cards, you know, banishing the Fiendsmith 1 by 1, so that, you know, they lose that engine at some point. Obviously, you can banish Lacrima. I used my bestial monsters to banish the Requiem. That's why they couldn't summon Necroquip. And obviously, you know, most builds, the Ryzeal players, they were only playing 1 Requiem. So, you know, you end up just breaking down the Fiendsmith engine. I didn't really use the bestials like to target the Ryzeal monsters. I'm saying Ryzeal, guys, because I didn't get a chance to verse Malice today. I did attempt to use the bestials on the Runick White Forest deck, targeting the White Forest, and then obviously the White Forest cards. I think it's Sylvie, and I don't know, I forgot the names. The way they can tag out a White Forest and reborn themselves. So you know, the bestials were good interruptions. We are in a format where lights and darks are all over the place. The bestials were really good against the Fiendsmith engine. It really helped, you know, the fact that the Ryzeal player was now aware that I am playing quite a big number of bestials. So obviously, you know, he was a bit careful of, or a bit worried that if his effects or he would have enough bodies. The bestials also helped me to stop sequence, though, from allowing sequence to fusion summon into Desiree, because I managed to just get rid of enough light fiends from the graveyard. So the bestial engine, love it. I think this number is fine. I'm not a fan of Boldrake, because Boldrake requires me to tribute a light to dark on my field, and to be honest, I think in this format that we're in, you kind of want as many bodies on your field to protect you from being dealt too much damage for game. So Boldrake, not a fan of it. Bojack would be good if, you know, I wasn't so careful, well, so worried about like being attacked with so much damage per game. And then obviously the best option for Bojack is if I'm able to tribute my Albion the branded dragon. But obviously these other cards, I decided, you know, Bojack is not a good pick. Happy with this. Would I increase the what's his name, Jerusalem count? I don't think so. I think one Jerusalem is fine. 3 Serenias and, you know, 3 Libellions. I was initially planning to play just either 1 or 2, but I decided, you know, 3 because we want to see the card in our hand because we are playing 60. So 3, why not? So yeah, guys, this is the package. Bystial engine was really good, honestly. Loved it. It really helped me. I think, yeah, the Bystials are really good, especially if you're going up against Ryzeal, Fiendsmith. Now, but anyways, on to the spells, guys. So we are playing, obviously, the one, QCR right there, one Brand of Fusion, best card in the deck. We are playing the one branded in white, the one, 2 branded in red. So branded in red, funny enough, I honestly felt that today I didn't even resolve branded in red at all, literally. Honestly, the only card I resolved most of the time was branded banishment. But yeah, 2 branded reds because, guys, I'm not a fan of just playing 1. 2 is really necessary. It honestly makes your life so much easier for the grind game. I think, like, even though I'm playing 1 Quim, 2 branded in reds helps you more with the grind game. So yeah, 2 branded in reds, cool. 1 brand lost, you know, obviously you have to play 1 brand lost. Then we are playing 3 openings as well. 3 openings, that is your search for either Luba or what's the name, Quem. And yeah, opening is opening, gives you pop destruction as well for your fusion monsters. We are playing the 1 spirit. We're not playing too many high spirits here. 1 is fine, honestly. It's a once per turn effect. And I know some people say if you're playing 3, you know, oh, you can add well, actually you can only use this effect once per turn, but you will get either high chance of seeing it, and also, you know, you can always add this card back to hand. But 1 is fine because it's a once per turn. You don't want to see multiple copies of this. Same reason for Albion. You don't want to see multiple copies. Once per turn effect, that's it, does its job. We don't want to see more cards. We would rather have other cards in our hand. So 1 high spirits. We are playing the 1 regain. Really good card. This card really came in clutch. Recycling our light and dark monsters and reborning Magnuma to use its what's the word, effect to get a search. Regained, it's a must. Honestly, in every brand build, it's a must. Now onto the brand spells and traps. I am playing the 1 retribution, I'm playing 1 sword and 1 branded banishment. Now just to discuss here, retribution, you know, retribution is retribution. Branded sword, the reason why I'm playing branded sword is mainly just to recycle my Albaz related monsters that are banished. So Quim, Mercuria, or even Albaz, because there were some cases in testing where I would end up banishing all 3 of my Albazes and I didn't have a way to recycle them. So I decided, let me put Sword. Sword is essentially also good for a grind game. But what was also nice about Sword is that whenever I resolved Branded Fusion and had Branded Lost in Field, most of the time I would also, when I use Albion effect to Fusion, I'll go Chainlink 1 Albion, the branded dragon, and then Chainlink 2 Lost. And with Lost, I would always end up searching Mercuria, which I then banish with Albaz to go into Libellion. So then Mercuria will get its effect to search. I'll discard whatever other card. Mercuria would usually end up searching for, what's his name? Albion the Shrouded Dragon. Yeah, Albion the Shrouded Dragon. And with Albion the Shrouded Dragon, I would end up pitching Branded Sword. So that way I have access to add back my Mercuria. So that's why I still have access to a monster negate. So essentially today, these 3 cards were essentially like, you know, a whole 1 card. Well, I don't want to say one card combo. This 3 cards essentially was just a combo I did. Just Mercuria banishing, get Albion pitching sword. So you have a way to add Mercuria. And then you obviously drew into whatever card you needed of Albion destroyed. So yeah, that's the reason why I decided to play branded sword. That's mainly for that. I don't use its other effect where you can basically summon tokens. That one didn't come up today at all, just mainly to recycle my banished Albaz related card. Branded banishment now. Branded banishment, I resolved this card so many times today. In this build, I am playing Lad, but not just for Lad. I did summon Lad once today. I didn't summon it against the Ryzeal Fiendsmith. I summoned it against the Runick White Forest. Yeah, Runick White Forest, and banishment against Ryzeal and Ryzeal and Ninja Fiendsmith. This was mainly just to reborn my fusion monsters once it got destroyed. So yeah, banishment was the main branded spell well, main branded trap that I resolved. Branded Red, guys, I didn't even resolve that card once today, even though I played 2 of those. So yeah, Branded Banishment, really good card, honestly. Yeah, that's bold. Now, aside from the branded spells and traps, we are playing 3 fusion deployments. Fusion deployments, yeah, you know, access to Cartesia and Albaz. There was a case where I managed to use fusion deployment, bring out Cartesia. That's where Aluba could dodge Imperm or Veiler. And then obviously also I did use it to summon Albaz. I didn't, yeah, you know, fusion deployment is deployment. I don't know why I'm still yapping about this. We are playing the Triple Tactics package, so 3 Triple Tactics first. I am playing 1 Talents. 1 Talents, I never felt the need for a second one. I did use Thrust once to search Talents to rip a card from my Ryzeal opponent's hand, which I managed to, it was a good option there because I ripped out the Nibiru. Nibiru was the only card he had in hand, so that was a good option for me. I think I used this Thrust searching Talents in the last round, game number 4, when I was going up against the Ryzeal Fiendsmith guy. I think it was game 2. Yeah, I think it was game 2 because game 1 I won, and then game 2 I managed to rip the Nibiru out of my opponent's hand, and I had lost and then activate fusion, and yeah, you know, I managed to set up my board, and yeah, it was good. 1 Talents, that's all you need, and obviously the fusion duplication, I just called this the Triple Tactics package because this is the main card we're searching of, what's its name, Thrust. So yeah, 1 fusion duplication. Outside of that, we are playing Allure, guys, so we do have the 3 Allure of Darkness. You know, Allure is Allure. Get your search, banish Tragedy or Mercuria, always. Even if you don't see those cards in hand, activate Allure. I'm telling you, you're always going to see either Mercuria or Tragedy, or you're going to see both. So Allure is Allure. We do need the draw power. Board breakers now, we are playing 3 Forbidden Droplets. Now, what happened was this morning before the locals, I was really like overthinking, and I don't know if I want to play Droplets or if I wanted to play Imperm, because Imperm, that's where I am able to negate something during my opponent's turn, you know, if they're going first. You know, because I was so worried about, I need to find a way to negate Dio Drive or even Caesar. Sure, Droplet is there, but it's like, I do want to negate my opponent during his turn, rather like in turn 1 is what I mean, guys. So I was really contemplating about that, but don't worry, there is Imperm in the side deck, so I decided, you know, main deck, we'll go Droplet. It's cool, Droplet, we can dodge Imperm, dodge Veiler. Did I use Droplet a lot today? I'm gonna say no. I didn't really have to use it. Yeah, Droplet is there, so I decided it's fine. Droplet is fine, it's cool. I wouldn't take it out. It's there. I just decided to put Droplets because I need a way, 1, to dodge Imperm and Veiler, and then obviously 2, to negate my opponent's monsters on the board. More board breakers, we are playing 3 Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse did come up not specifically against the Ryzeal player. It came up more against the, what's that deck? Runick White Forest. But yeah, Book of Eclipse, board breaker, and obviously it's good against Ryzeal because you obviously you have to deal with the field spell, you have to deal with Detonator, and maybe obviously Caesar on the field. So Book of Eclipse, if you don't have Ash, boom. It just literally gets rid of 3 interruptions on your opponent's field, and you can play. And obviously dodge Imperm and Veiler, and we are playing the 3 Super Polys. Yeah, Super Poly did come up, guys. Honestly, I think Super Poly is the best board breaker we have. You know, you can use Cartesia, you can use Aluba, you can use Albaz, and, you know, go into either Masquerade or Quiritus, or into Grand Gugno, or any of your Albaz related cards if you have the right attributes with Albaz. So Super Poly was a good board breaker, and we do have the 1 Callback. So yeah, this package, I think this is pretty common in any branded vault, and yeah, I don't think I'll make any changes there. The board breakers were pretty decent. And moving on, like I say, guys, we are playing the grass. So we do have the 1 grass, and I'm playing 2 Tearlaments names. The reason why I'm playing 2, guys, if you did see my other videos where I did discuss the deck profile, 2 Tearlaments, that's where you have a greater chance of milling a Tearlament name. And honestly, 2 Tearlaments gives you more fusion summons to perform. So yeah, there was a case where I did resolve grass, guys. I did end up resolving grass. There was a in the first game against the Ryzeal Fiendsmith player, he did Ash my grass looks greener, and yeah, that was unfortunate, but I did resolve grass, guys. There was a case I did mill a Tearlament name, I think. Yeah, there was a chance. There was one, I think it was against the White Firest Runick player, where I resolved grass, milled 1 Tearlament name, not the other one. So I managed to fill up my graveyard and get a fusion summon off of that. So grass, yeah, guys, honestly, like, you know, branded's not really good when it comes to playing hand traps. You really could, trust me, if you're gonna make it work, it can. You know, hand traps are hand traps, but I feel like with branded, you kind of need more gas. Hand traps is not going to do it, because every time when I see a hand trap in my hand, I just feel sick, guys. Honest, it's like, you know, if this card was a grass, if this card was a talent or a thrust, or I don't know, super poly or eclipse, you know, I would have stood a better chance than having a hand trap in my hand. So honestly, it's like, obviously there's a lot of talents and thrusts going around nowadays. So it's like, I'd rather not risk playing into those. Obviously, I am playing Bystials, and I did end up using my Bystials during my opponent's turn, in his turn one, when went up against the what's his name, the Ryzeal Fiendsmith player. So yeah, I mean, I'd rather play Bystials because that breaks down further the Fiendsmith engine. But Imperm and Ash and Veiler, I don't know, guys. Honestly, I don't think that was needed today. I'm not saying hand traps are bad. It's just I'm not a fan of playing hand traps when it comes to branded, honestly. Now, moving on, we do have the extra deck. Obviously, extra deck I think is pretty standard. 2 Mirror Jades, don't play one. Second one always comes up. 1 Rebellion. We do play 2 Albions. We do play 1 Titan and 1 Rinbrim. So these are the Albers name I'm playing. Alba Lenitus, sorry, is here, but it's actually in my side deck. Alba Lenitus is there just mainly for Tempai. I mean, not saying that Tempai is running around, but you know, it's there. But these are the Owlbears related fusion monsters. Sprint is a card there, but I don't think you need it. These Owlbears fusion monsters were just good enough, and I'm happy with it. Rimbrim's effect did come up once or twice against a Ryzeal Fiendsmith player. Yeah, it was really good. Obviously, the issue with playing Rimbrim is that you need to be careful of Bystial. So, but yeah, did end up using the Rimbrim effect. One change I did make to the extra deck, well, actually one of the 2 changes. I'm playing only 1 Grand Gugno. Reason why is, 1, I am playing 1 Quem, and I'm not playing a lock. No lock. So I decided, you know, Grand Gugno, second one, sure. I mean, I am playing 2 Cartesias, so playing a second Grand Gugno would make sense. But in most cases, if you're summoning Grand Gugno, you dump whatever fusion or light to dark from your main deck to the grave, and then honestly, that's it. Then you just use Grand Gugno to summon Quem or Queritus. And then honestly, at that point, you can just recycle Grand Gugno with your brand new regain. And honestly, at some point, I don't think once you resolved Grand Gugno, you know, its dump effect and special summon effect, if it doesn't get negated, that second Grand Gugno doesn't really come up, because at some point that means it's just that your graveyard is filled up, and you must be at a point where you have cards recycling and your engine going. So 1 Grand Gugno, that's it. It didn't feel the need to play a second one. Another reason is partly also because Grand Gugno, I didn't really summon this card a lot. I did end up using Super Poly with my Cartesian, my opponent's Light and Dark, to go into Grand Gugno. But you know, the second one didn't really feel like it needed to come up. But the reason I'm playing 1 is because I wanted to make space for Light and Dark Dragon Lord, which is also another card I decided to main deck. Because I decided, you know, as a bit worried, like if there's maybe Tempai or like a deck that plays Shifter in the main deck, I decided I don't want to risk just having Lad in my side deck. I'd rather have it in my main deck, so that way if I get hit with Shifter or, you know, something that makes me have to banish monsters, boom, Lad is there, because Lad is a good card to end on if you're under like Shifter sort of situation. So yeah, decided, so 1 Grand Gugno, and took out the second one to make space for Light and Dark Dragon Lord. Now moving on, we do play 1 Masquerade and 1 Curitas, which is basically our Despia monsters. Masquerade, I did summon Masquerade. I think maybe once or twice today. I did summon Masquerade in the 4th game against the Ryzeal player. When he went to game 2, you know, obviously time was a bit running out, so Masquerade came out just to put some damage on the field. Not saying it won, you know, just Masquerade deals some damage, so that put me in a good position. So yeah, obviously Masquerade was there for Malice, but we did not go up against Malice. Quiritus was good, yeah. I mean, Quiritus is always being played, honestly. Priscinion, didn't feel the need for Priscinion. Quiritus is just better because it reduces your monster's attack to 0. I mean, not yours, your opponent's, essentially. And then obviously if it leaves the field because of your opponent's card effect, I think, yeah, card effect, and then you can just bring out Owlbears or a Despia monster from your deck to keep playing or get a search, you know. So yeah, that is those. Super Poly Target, we are only playing Mud Dragon. Garura is not really something that I think it needs to be played. Mud Dragon is more common. Mud Dragon, obviously, if you see my Ryzeal, my branded replays, when you go up against Ryzeal, if you're able to super poly a Bystial and Caesar, when you're going up against them, boom, you have this. You don't need to worry about Caesar or Mud Dragon. So yeah, this year I am playing because I'm playing super poly, more relevant than Garura in my opinion. Playing Dragons to Paleo, obviously also another super poly target, you know, if your opponent has the Fiendsmith Desiree on the field. And yeah, I mean, you can mill your Tearlaments names to recycle back your, what's his name, the Lubellion, and then any other dark monster, or even this can be the fusion monster, and whatever the case is, just going to Predator Plants, Dragos to Paleo. So one here, just to recycle your Lubellion, specifically any other dark monsters, and also just another easier fusion to go into if you mill a Tearlaments name. We are playing the one Furious, and we're playing the one Chimera. Obviously, these are our back row removal. Furious came out a lot more than Chimera. Chimera, like I said, guys, I didn't really play branded in red a lot today. It was mainly brand banishment, but Furious came up, especially against the Runick White Firest, popping their field spell when they weren't able to protect it with Huggin, and then yeah, just being able to clear the board. But further, I did use it against the Ryzeal player, I believe, you know, just popping his monsters, I think popping his Fiendsmith as well, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, these were pretty good. So yeah, guys, that is the extra deck. Nothing to change, just one Grand Gugnol and one Lad. I had to make space for a Lad, guys, because I was a bit worried that, you know, I didn't want to risk losing game one because I couldn't bring out Lad in, you know, during my opponent's turn. So I decided, cool, we'll put Lad there, and I'll take out the one Grand Gugnol, and it was fine. I don't regret that decision. Obviously, I don't know how it would be if it was in a grind game. So that means obviously in this build, I am quite reliant on branded regain. But yeah, I am happy with the extra deck. And moving on, we have the side deck. So now here, guys, in the side deck, guys, I decided to put 3 imperms. Now, obviously, like I said, guys, in the beginning, I was a bit worried about whether I should put imperms in my main deck, either along with Droplet or just replace Droplet with imperms. I decided, you know, Droplet is pretty good because in most cases I do feel like I'm either just going to end up going second, so let Droplet be there. If we go to game 2 or 3 and I end up going maybe second against whoever, I decided in my side deck I'll put 3 imperms because one imperm, I need a way to negate Dio Drive, or well, if it's against Ryzeal, negate Dio Drive so they don't get the search. The field spell is an issue. Sure, I have Book of Eclipse, but you know, just having a way to negate something during your opponent's turn honestly just helps you to be in a better position. So yeah, imperm, I did side this in specifically against the Ryzeal Fiendsmith player, not against White Firest Runick, not against the Ninja Fiendsmith, sorry. So imperm, I did end up siding it against the Ryzeal Fiendsmith player, and imperm, I did not end up using it on Dio Drive. Rather, the opponent, he didn't end up going to Dio Drive. I think it's just because of what he drew in his hand. He ended up bringing out Caesar, setting some cards. One of it was obviously an imperm, and there was a Metrotronus that was in his side deck, so this was game 2 or 3. So yeah, imperm came in clutch, being able to negate Caesar, which I felt very happy about. So you know, imperm I think was a good option to play as a side deck. Now moving on, we are playing back row removal, so we have the 1 Hoppies and we have the 2 Lightning Storms. So these cards didn't really come up a lot today. I did obviously side them in. Lightning Storms, the issue with Lightning Storm is I am playing Bystial, so honestly, when I was going, I think in game 2 or 3, when I was trying to put in some back row removal, I felt a bit hesitant of playing Lightning Storm, so I just kept the 1 Hoppies only because I knew for a fact there's a good chance I am going to put a Bystial on the field, and I don't want to risk going into battle phase, losing it just so that I can make Lightning Storms live. So yeah, I don't know about Lightning Storms, guys. I just played 3 obviously because there's a greater chance of you seeing them in your opening hand. But you know, obviously Hoppies is fine. You don't need, there's no restriction like Lightning Storm has. So yeah, I mean 3, just so there's a greater chance of seeing one of these. And obviously if I do end up seeing one Lightning Storms in my hand, I'll be a bit careful of whether I activate my Bystials or not. So yeah, these are for back row removal and essentially also monster removals, the Lightning Storms. Now, against Malice, obviously 3 Lanciers, and I do have the 1 Artifact Sanctum. So yeah, Lancia, Artifact Sanctum against, mainly for Malice. We don't see any Malice today, so cool, it's fine. We are playing 3 D-Barriers, so the D-Barriers is essentially for, what's its name? Ryzeal, Fiendsmith, and obviously any other, let's say, Centurion, Bystials, but D-Bear is mainly just for Ryzeal, Fiendsmith. Did I end up seeing this card using this card today? No. Did I side it in? Yes, but I didn't draw into it, nor did I need it. So it was fine, cool. But obviously it's there just for Ryzeal, Fiendsmith. We are playing the one different dimension ground. So the reason why I decided to play this is maybe if there was a Snake Eye as a Mina player, but also I think different dimension ground is also good against Ryzeal, Fiendsmith, because they do need a graveyard. The Fiendsmith needs to go to grave. So I decided, if I did side this in against Ryzeal, Fiendsmith play when I was going first in game 2, game 2, or was it game 3? One of those. So I decided, against Ryzeal, it's 3D barriers, one different dimension ground. Just in case different dimension ground stops their Fiendsmith plays. Obviously, this does affect us, but I think we'll be fine. It obviously depends on what board you set up. It will be a bit different. Mirror Jade won't be a good option to end on, but it does affect their Fiendsmith plays. I don't think it hits their Ryzeal plays quite a bit, but letting them not have access to a Fiendsmith engine can be pretty good. So yeah, did I resolve this? No. But did I side it in? Yes, I did. I didn't see it though, but yeah, it was fine. And we have the one Arbor-Lenitus. Arbor-Lenitus is there if I'm going up against Dragon Link or Centurion Bystials and any other dragon heavy deck. So yeah, guys, that is the side deck, guys. Now just to just go over how I felt about today's locals experience. So going up against White Firest Runick, 2 Ryzeal games, Ryzeal Fiendsmith games specifically, and then obviously against the one Ninja Fiendsmith. But my decisions on playing the more Bystials was actually pretty good, because playing the more Bystials, it was really good just hitting the Fiendsmith names in my opponent's graveyard. It didn't necessarily stop them from going into Caesar, but that way I was able to, one, diminish the Fiendsmith engine my opponents had in the throughout the entire game, and also it also forced out Lacrima, because there were some cases where I had Thrust in my hand, so that way if I had a Bystial, I could target Lacrima, force Lacrima to either resolve. But in my matchups against a Ryzeal player, he did end up using his own Bystials to banish Lacrima, just so that I don't get a Bystial body on the field. But essentially, I did attempt using this Bystials to force out a monster effect, so to make my Thrust live, either to search for grass or obviously just branded fusion as well. So yeah, playing the Bystials was pretty good. I am playing quite a high count, and I really enjoy playing the Bystials. I was a bit worried that I would end up bricking on the Bystials, but it seems that today, I managed to draw pretty well, pretty decent, not drawing into too many. I did end up drawing into 2 Bystials. I drew into one Magnamut and one Serenia in the one game against the Ryzeal Fiendsmith player, but the Bystials really came in clutch today. Honestly, hitting the Fiendsmith engine. You didn't really hit the Ryzeal engine, I would say. You didn't really hit that, because Ryzeal engine, either you just come to your turn and you either, Branded Fusion resolves and you deal with it, or, Super Poly or even Eclipse. I didn't, when it comes to the board breakers, where did I put it? Oh, it's somewhere here. The board breakers, so to say, Super Poly was the main one, I would say, honestly, out of all the others. Eclipse didn't really come up against the Ryzeal player. Yeah, I didn't actually use Eclipse against the Ryzeal player. The only time I used this was in my turn when I wanted to flip, I think, a Luba down, that way to dodge Effect Veiler. I think that, if I remember correctly, that is the one way which I used Eclipse. I didn't use Eclipse to flip my opponent's monsters during his turn. Didn't do that whatsoever. Super Poly did come up, not too many times, but it came up once or twice. I think I used it to out Detonator, if I believe, but Super Poly is literally the best board breaker. Droplet though, like I get actually today Droplet hardly even came out. It was only against the Runick White Forest monster. I negated the Runick Fusion monster to get access to the field spell, but against the Ryzeal player, this did not come up. I didn't even use it. I don't think I even saw this. Yeah, I didn't even see this at all. So yeah, it was cool. But yeah, guys, this is the branded build I played today. It was pretty good. Obviously, I was a bit worried, because I'm been testing so much. On DB, it's one thing, but then when you go to your locals, you need to prep for the decks that you'll see there. So I was so hesitant and a bit worried on whether the build that I would make would be pretty good. But, it ended up going pretty well. We drew good. Obviously there were 100 times when my opponent ashed Branded Fusion or ashed Grass Looks Green, even though I was really hoping to mow grass just to see what I could hit. You know, honestly, resolving grass is like it gives you a high in a way, you know. But yeah, yeah, we did deal with some hand traps. We managed to play through. Against a mouse player, the Bystials came in clutch. We were able to either too many hand traps were there to stop us from playing, and then my opponent just had enough follow-up, and you know, just we were just right, we didn't have the ability to get enough follow-up, so opponents had game. Against the Ryzeal player, it was pretty decent. I did enjoy my matchups against him. Obviously there was no like sort of bricking. I didn't play a lock, so we were actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Literally no toxic what's the word I'm looking for, floodgates, none of that. It was pretty good, pretty interesting games, you know, just branded engine going up against the Ryzeal and Fiendsmith engine, which was pretty good. I did end up in game 2, opponent won the dice roll and he went first. He had Detonator, he had Caesar, he had I think Imperm, and he had Ash Veiler Imperm, and unfortunately I didn't manage to get access to Fusion, and so he ashed my Grass, which was unfortunate, so I ended up scooping because he had just had enough to deal damage. And then game 2 I ended up winning. I think if I remember correctly, I did siding D barriers and different dimension ground, but I didn't see any of those. But I did have, I think, droplets and super poly, but I was able to, like, you know, stop him from doing too many plays. The Bestials came in clutch as well, you know, hitting the Fiendsmith engine in a way, hitting those, bring it down, which affected his plays in a way. And then obviously game 3 ended up drawing against because I couldn't deal damage. Sure, I did have Masquerade, but my opponent stopped me from being able to. I remember there was a time where I went into Quiritus to try reduce my opponent's monster's attack to 0, but he negated this, and then I was trying to go for Masquerade, but obviously my opponent would be smart not to activate any monster effect, and then time was called, so we ended up drawing it. Game 3, the second round, second time I went up against the Ryzeal player in round 4, I ended up winning dice roll. I went first. I managed to win it because my opponent was not able to set up a full board. I sort of broke it down a bit, and then I believe he didn't get enough follow-up. He wasn't able to get that, so I was in a better position. And then game 2, my opponent went first. I think he didn't see he wasn't able to get Ryzeal names onto his field. He ended up on a Caesar. I think he had Imperm, and he also had the spell Metatronus. And obviously, I think he had Effect Veil as well, but we managed to play through all of that. The Imperm in game 2 against the Ryzeal player in round 4 came in clutch so hard, because then what happened was my opening hand was literally an Imperm. I had Branded Fusion, I had a Luber, I think I had Eclipse, and I had some card, but the whole point is I managed to draw Branded Fusion and Branded Lost in my hand when I was going second, so I just summoned the Luber to force out anything, and it was met with Effect Veiler, I believe. And then honestly, you know, Branded Lost, Caesar can't negate Branded Lost, Branded Fusion, Branded Lost on the field, and he didn't have Ash, managed to pop off, break his board, deal some damage, and then he couldn't get enough follow-up because I had enough interruptions just to slow him down. So yeah, it was a pretty good day of Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. Branded managed to actually play. No lock, no hand traps, just pure Branded engine, and honestly had a blast. It was a good game of Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. So I wanted to show you my deck profile to what I'm playing. 60 card Branded, Tearlaments, boom. We did resolve Grass, guys, so please, Grass was not a dead card in this build. Is there any changes I would want to make? Hand traps? No, I don't want to play hand traps. Imperm though, I do want to keep Imperm as an option to play. Imperm, being able to negate, you know, Caesar as an example from today, or even Deal Drive, you know, just having a way to negate something during opponent's turn to, like, you know, not get them in the usual setup or end board they'll end on, or just not to get them certain cards. Imperm, good. Also, Imperm is just a good way of you just having more cards besides relying on Droplet or Eclipse or Super Poly, just having a negate as well. Obviously, this does Imperm is a bit risky to play because you are playing Bystial, so you got to be a bit careful. But obviously, it depends how you think. What you want to save your Imperm for will obviously be a decision you can make. So Imperm, yeah, Imperm is good. I don't think I'll put it in main deck, to be honest. I think it's good in the side deck, mainly if you're going second or even if you're going first, because Imperm can be, in my thought, Imperm would also be a good thrust target if you're unable to, like, you know, if you don't have a setup for fusion duplication. Go thrust, search impermanence, and then at least you have a negate of some sort, and just hope for the best after that. So yeah, guys, that is the build, guys. I've been yapping too much in this video. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. Hope you found this interesting. So yeah, if you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Obviously, unfortunately, guys, sorry, I couldn't get you live replays of the duel. I didn't have a camera or any setup. Honestly, I forgot about, like, you know, trying to make plans to record the live duels. But you know, my plan is to hopefully someday go to locals and record games for you guys so that you guys can see. But you know, hopefully that is something that I can achieve soon enough, so that you guys can enjoy actual locals content. But please, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you enjoy it. Honestly, I am here committed to give you guys good branded content, and as you continue to watch this channel, you will be entertained. But thank you for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Cheers.